Gears of War is a third-person cover-based shooter and war simulator that was made in 2006, and it's also my favorite game of all time. Now you might be asking, why am I talking about this? Well, 1, it is a topic that I've been wanting to discuss for a while now. 2, I wanted to address what is positive and what is negative about the game and give you a sense of how the game is. And 3, cause why not? So anyway, why don't we get into this? Of course, this game was made in 2006, so it's going to naturally have a nostalgia factor to anyone who played it as one of their first games. Back when I was younger, I actually played Gears of War 2 first, and then I played Gears of War 1. I think that's the main reason why Gears 2 is my favorite in the series, but mostly because Gears 2 upped pretty much everything Gears 1 had while adding even more. Since Gears was one of the first games I played, it became a staple game in my future life and eventually became my favorite game of all time. Now I'm 13 as of now. Back however long ago when I first started playing Gears, I sucked horribly due to my little mind. I didn't know how to get past the second act for about a year until I found out you had to actually shoot the propane tanks to have a light source so the krill wouldn't obliterate you. Same with Gears of War 2. In the act Gathering Storm, when you're supposed to drive a centaur up Mount Kadar, I could barely get past driving over ice. And after that, I couldn't break through the large doors that led into Mount Kadar. So in addition to not being able to beat Gears 1 for a year, I could not beat Gears 2 for a year either. But hey, what are you gonna do when you're a cringy 9-year-old? First off, let me say, Kevin, he did a pretty good job making music that captures the feel of Gears of War. The build-up of most of the music and the soundtrack is awesome and gets you pumped to keep killing. It makes the scene, whatever it might be, very intense and almost a little bit scary. He adds many different instruments, like in the build-up it's mainly woodwind instruments like flute or clarinet. Then the climax consists of many brass instruments like tuba and trumpet, along with percussion. Then there's the fall-off, which usually goes in order, from an epic ending to the climax, which contains string instruments along with more woodwind instruments, and then the main fall-off, which contains more woodwind than anything else. And then, of course, there's the main menu music. It's a very interesting tune. I don't know how to exactly explain it. It's almost a little bit creepy. The fact that they used Mad World as the trailer music is awesome in itself. Like seriously, go watch the trailer. Every time I watch it, it makes me want to cry.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces.
But just think. What if they used the original Mad World song by Tears for Fears? The enemy choice is very interesting. I use that word lightly because I honestly don't know any other word to describe it. It's a very interesting choice for the enemy in the game. The enemies in the game are known as the Locust. They're human-sized with human pretty much everything. Although they do have gray scaly skin, lizard eyes and teeth, and growly voices. They're pretty scary looking, honestly. The good thing about these enemies is that they're really a challenge. Even when you're playing on casual, they can kill you with a couple good close-up Nasher shots, an unexpected Lancer chainsaw charge, or just with a boomer. Speaking of, there are special and more difficult types of Locust. In Act 1, the most special type of Locust you can encounter is the boomer. The boomer is what I'd like to call a big bloated bloke who yells boom and fires his boom shot, which then sends a rocket flying towards you. You can either kill these guys from far away, which is actually pretty easy, or get up close with a Nasher shotgun and go at him while dodging his shots. The second one is actually easier, as these big bloated boomers can't hit shots accurate up close. At the end of Act 1, you encounter a berserker. Now, this gal is actually quite the juggernaut. She runs at you and tries to smash you to a pulp, but it's fairly easy to kill her, as all you must do is dodge her charges and fire down hell upon her with the Hammer of Dawn. Lastly, in Act 2, you encounter the Nightfall, which introduces the Krill, flesh-hungry bats that obliterate you if you're standing in darkness. Now, if you thought that was the worst, just don't even play Gears of War 2. It adds so much. This section actually has a really huge spoiler warning, because I literally summarized the entire story of Gears of War 1, so if you don't want to hear it and just play it for yourself, then I recommend not listening right now. Now, before we get into this, I'm just going to say I'm reading this in more of like a narrator type voice, since, I guess that's the only, I can't read this without sounding more like a narrator. So, yeah. Basically, the story starts with E-Day, or Emergence Day. This is the day when the Locusts come from their Locust tunnels and invade the planet of Seta. Much chaos happens leading to the release of Private Phoenix 14 years after Emergence Day. Marcus and his buddy Dom escape the prison he was being held in and go on their mission to find Alpha Squad and obtain the Resonator, a device that would map the Locust tunnels to accurately use the light mass bomb. They meet up with Alpha Squad and obtain the Resonator and make their way to the civilian hideout to obtain a vehicle. They obtain a Centaur and make their way to an emulsion factory. In the emulsion factory, they go underground and plant the Resonator. After being informed that the Resonator failed to map the Locust tunnels, Delta Squad heads to the Phoenix estate to obtain the required data for the light mass bomb. After retrieving the data, Delta Squad jumps onto a train carrying the light mass bomb. They make their way to the front of the train where the light mass bomb is stationed, but encounter General Ram guarding the light mass bomb. After successfully killing General Ram, Marcus plants the data inside the light mass bomb and successfully deploys it to map the Locust tunnels and blow up the Locust underground. Just by listening to the story, you could tell it's really elaborate and actually really clever, and it's a really well thought out story. Now, Gears of War 2 adds even more to the story, but I'm not going to get into that. Wink, wink. Yeah, you can tell I really like Gears of War 2. Woohoo! Okay, I'm actually really glad we were in this part of the video. The negatives, oh my god. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Oh my god, do I have a doozy for you. Oh, this game's mechanics are as wonky as my tolerance for vegetables. The concept for a cover-based game is a very good concept, but Epic Games executed it well, but oh man, is it still pretty bad. Many times I'll get into cover, an enemy comes around the corner of my cover wall, I'll try to go around the other side, but I'll end up somersaulting face first into a wall adjacent to my cover, giving the enemy, usually a grenadier, an easy chance at shotgunning or chainsawing me. Not to mention trying to shoot over cover. Multiple times I've tried to do a quick sniper shot and go back down to cover, but I'll press the shoot button, it won't even shoot, my character will just simply go back down into cover and blind fire a second after I pressed LT wherever my crosshair happens to be, which is usually not even on an enemy I was trying to kill, but on the ground, wasting a shot and a chance to kill an enemy. Additionally, I'll try to somersault away from an enemy, but I happen to be next to a wall, so my character takes cover against the wall. So I'll try to reverse my plan to benefit me, so I try to somersault along the wall in the opposite direction of the enemy. But do you know what happens? My character peacefully strolls along the wall, while I'm tapping A as fast as I can to try to somersault away. While this is happening, the Locust is following me, peacefully wondering what I'm doing with the life he's about to end. And to top it all off, the maximum sensitivity speed is the equivalent to the sensitivity speed of 4 in Call of Duty. In addition to super wonky mechanics, the NPCs are hilariously bad. Your buddy, Dom, is like your little brother. He'll follow you, and then fail miserably trying to do what you want to do. Dom will often walk into the middle of a firefight. Sounds epic, right? Well, he doesn't even shoot the gun he's holding. And if he does, he shoots 2 feet above its target. While he's getting shot at, I'm forced to make an effort to save Dom from dying, but of course he gets down. Which you don't even have to revive him. All you have to do is finish the fight and he'll get up on his own. It's like Marcus, I'm dying! Oh, wait, did you kill them all? Let's keep going! It's only a flesh wound. Now, the enemy NPCs are the complete opposite. They're very difficult, almost too difficult. I'll be shooting at a locust, kill him, then another locust will come up behind me and take down the majority of my health. Now you might ask, oh, where was Dom in that occasion? He was bleeding out in a corner, what did you expect? Not to mention locusts with lancers. Now when I try to chainsaw someone in half, someone will shoot me and ruin the chance of me chainsawing said person, and ultimately ruin the chance of me being an absolute legend. But what happens when I shoot a locust trying to chainsaw me? He walks through my bullets and I'm forced to accept my gruesome death by chainsaw. What's the point of chainsawing if someone will most likely shoot you before you can get close? Okay, for this section, I'm just going to show you some clips and it'll basically sum up this section for you.
Here it comes. Get ready.
Look at his lips!
So, yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh my god, even on casual, I can barely get past these guys. But let's talk about insane for a minute. Usually when you see the highest difficulty available in a game, you think, oh well, yeah, that's gonna be pretty hard, but it'll basically be playing the regular difficulty, except I gotta think more and plan more, right? No. No. At more than one parts, either Dom's stupid AI or the game's wonky mechanics completely messed me up. I usually quit and end up playing Gears of War 2 Horde mode. And you know that part at the end of the game where you have to kill General Ram, you know, like the most important part of the game? You literally either have to get your friend and both bombard him with torque bow explosives, or glitch. Seriously? 1, most of my friends are usually never free and know nothing about Gears of War, and 2, isn't beating the game in the highest difficulty supposed to give you dignity and bragging rights? 1, I usually lose dignity when glitching, and 2, I don't think bragging to my friends about how I glitch to beat Gears of War on Insane is going to impress said person. Even worse, Ram gets Krill and Reavers on his side. Like what? Now, the video is basically over, but I also wanted to take a minute to address the new Gears of War game coming out. Gears of War 4 is a new game that is coming out soon, and it's not developed by Epic Games anymore. It's developed by some company named The Coalition, I think. And guess what the new enemy in the game is? New antagonists. DBs? DBs? Is that a... DBs? And the Swarm? And I guess the Swarm is like a bunch of creatures that spawned off of the Lambent epidemic. But guess what? No locusts. Nowhere to be seen. Nothing. Nada. Negative. But hey, at least they're mentioned. They're only mentioned. I can't play without my good locust friends. I can't play without my good old locust friends. I just can't. So the moral of the story is, should you consider Gears of War? I highly recommend it. Should you play the first game? If you can tolerate everything I addressed in the negatives, then yes, go for it. Was Gears of War good for its time? I'm fairly certain it was. I mean, look at Mortal Kombat Armageddon. It was made in virtually the same year. Should you forgive Epic Games for all the downsides? I recommend it. The game was made 10 years ago, I mean, come on. Should you play Gears of War 4? If you want. I personally am still debating whether I would like to. I mean, it's not the same. No locusts, not the same company, so I'm honestly not even sure. Everyone ridiculed Gears' Judgment for 1, not having Marcus in the campaign, and 2, being mostly based on tower defense mechanics. I mean, if you want tower defense, just go play Gears 3 Horde mode. Do I like Gears' Judgment? Yes, I actually do enjoy it. Not as much as Gears 1 or 2, of course. So anyway, thank you all for watching. This is just a little rant I've been wanting to do. I actually wrote a script for this, and it's a script of everything that was on my mind, because I'm not very good with words. So I wrote down everything that was on my mind in the most orderly fashion I could. So I hope it turned out well. If you want to end the video here, then just click off right now. But I'm gonna go on a little rant here. School recently started, and it's honestly, of course, it's only been 2 days, only 2 school days, so it hasn't been very hard. But I'm not sure how easy it's gonna be for me to make videos. So I'll address that at a later time, and I'll address whether it'll be easy or hard for me, or just the regular for uploading videos. So yeah, anyway, I've got a lot of ideas on my mind for videos, but I'm not sure I'll have time to even make them, or even have energy to make them. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and consider my thoughts. See ya! So anyway, thank you all for